Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have a VIEGO, rank 1 VIEGO on Korea. Not literally, but this one's in Challenger with a super high win rate, and the one that's technically rank 1 is Master Tier with more games, but I think we can all agree a Challenger player who has 1000 LP is better than one who doesn't. Now, the VIEGO game here, you might recognize the matchup from the main channel video that just went out a little bit earlier, and the reason why I'm choosing this one in particular is because the problem with the 4-cam clears is it gives you weakness. It gives you predictability, and it's not as strong as it once was. Most meta junglers can 315, 320 do a full 6-cam, right? And they can stitch together the Grump and the blue, they get a crab, the enemy jungler starts opposite side. But in that video, you would have seen the heavy focus, runes on your screen of course now, on the 4 and 5-cam variants as Mordekaiser reigns all over your blue buff. Nice particles. Now, Diana's getting pinged here as starting on the red buff. You can see late to show. All you have to do is watch. Oh, wait, he shows top lane. Oh, bottom lane shows bottom lane. Right, so at this point, we don't know exactly where she began, but it's pretty obvious she most likely did red. Because, of course, you want to end your clear with the Grump for the juiced up resources. You can get it at the beginning, but it's nice to get it at the end. At the same time, when someone does that, most likely they want to camp bottom lane. So VIEGO gets a leash top side. Pay attention to the fact that he got a leash and that the enemy team should have known this. Again, this is Challenger, Korea, one of the best VIEGOs in the world, so he knows what he's doing. The point of that video I just released was to show you that when someone does a 6-camp, you know, if you do a 6-camp to the same side, and they have lane prio, you have to back away, go back to base, and the delayed spawn timers mean you cannot just rinse clear and get 6. You have to have something that allows you to get 6. So what he does is a Warwick-esque clear, 4 camps, right? Now, he's going to do this. The bottom lane has prio, so they're going to move up and ward. This is nice, but you don't need them to do this, okay? Very important that if you watch the whole video that I just put out that I'm referencing, or the Warwick S plus jungle video on that channel, you don't need this ward, because it's very easy to time the enemy jungler doing this, right? Especially most of the meta junglers now. So what VIEGO can do, and what you would have seen in the video, is he moves on up to try and steal the blue. Which he does. Now, I'm pausing it here not to annoy you, but because the Diana does not see the VIEGO. She has no idea if he fake leashed, or if he has a blue buff, or if he did something else. Now, a Challenger jungler is completely shocked by this. Alright, that's a nice flash, and she eats back to the Grump. The Jhin here comes on, and he flashes over, so he'll get the kill. Thank you very much. Well played. Now, the Diana immediately, while she's dead, should recognize dude has 20 CS. So he did a 4-camp into an invade. The timing of that's pretty obvious. She should know this. In the video, the jungle root video, she ends up going to check the blue. So that's bad on her part. But the point is, the whole full clear meta, when you do this kind of stuff, has been thrown into a weird situation. She just wanted a full clear and get a crab. All of a sudden, VIEGO is 4-camping, invading, stealing her blue buff, sitting in the river getting bottom crab. He could always look to go counter jungle the top side again and invade and take the top crab, but because of a TP coming through from the Silas, Genji quit of course, now they're fighting, which again you saw in the main channel video. So there's nothing new for you, but sort of allows me to enhance the discussion on this. Now, Akali also shows up, flash burn by Senna, VIEGO gets a stun, Set uses his magical W button, still dies, become the Set, and push the wave, right? Now here, this is where things get interesting, and I'm reversing it for a reason. Diana goes across, she was seen. She goes and checks the blue. Unnecessary, complete waste of time. Should be straight onto the crab, and you know that because he did blue Grump wolves, that Grump will be up very shortly. So she should 100% got counter jungled this. And the VIEGO, what he could have done is straight crabbed, mid lane cross, taken this, cut her off. If you're comfortable 1v1ing, of course you have to assess your prio, right? Because Renekton could rotate down, that's not good. And once you've done that now, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you have total tempo control. But because he did this anyway, she is forced into counter jungling. He goes here, ganks bottom lane, obviously now that it's not finished. They keep fighting, they keep fighting. Oh, this champion is so strong. So we get 2 birds with 1 stone here. VIEGO and LCS, VIEGO in this video showing you how strong the champion is. And of course, the rank 1 VIEGO showing you that full clearing is passé. We don't want to do that no more. I mean, it's fine if you can 315 it and opposite side and chill, but there's a lot more to be gained by making this impact. This is pretty obvious as well. Top lane did ward, but there's not much he can do here. So the Viego's play does get countered a little bit by the Diana, which is expected, you know? Diana at this point, this is just basic jungling. She messed up her early tracking, but the same result comes to pass. Now, Viego could have anticipated this, right? And gone straight to the bottom side, take these 2 tier 1s, and sync up with his bottom lane for a gank again. Or, because he knows Diana did all that, her tier 2 Raptors and Krugs are up. So if she goes back to base with the Renekton, he can steal this away. If she goes Krugs to Raptors, he can take this before she gets back. So here you can take the full camp, and now we can look to gank mid lane. This is exactly what we want to do. Come on, son. Wait, patience. There she is. She stayed out to try and get those camps, knowing this was possible. Silas hits the Chains of Destiny, but he gets sorted. And a nice roam by the secondary jungler. Chains miss, unfortunately. Now Diana can do a full extended sequence, though, in theory, right? In theory, she could have done this, dive this, take this. And that would counter the Viego's pressure if he did nothing else other than farm, which is what would happen in low elo. But she gets the whole mid lane here, so she actually has quite a big advantage on the experience end of things. Let's actually have a look here. So he's around there, and she is 6 already. Of course, I didn't have to look at the thing, but she's level 6 already. So it's almost a full experience by her because of the fact she's gotten her tier 2 camps, his tier 2 camps, and all he has left is tier 1. So I think, you know, that's where high elo junglers facing off each other really brings to question, right, if I'm going to do these 4 to 5 camps, how can I continue to be active to snowball that lead? And in this game, it changed drastically. In a lot of the other games in the main video, you saw exactly how you can get 6 fast, but the Diana played it well despite an early mishap. So in the Viego's case, he's very close to 6. You can lane gank this and give up the top crab, and of course, anticipate the fact that the Dianas can be done. This is just excellent. Great gank. Great gank. Now, she's 6 though, so you die. So it's, in principle, a great gank, but you know, you want to be able to get out of the situation, because here, you know, if the Diana goes back to base, she's going to do boom, boom, gank, right? Or, and in most of your elos, I would recommend this, just go straight down to the gank, all right? Just go straight down. Viego has to scan this. Or if he might get seen. Let's actually have a look here. No, he's fine. Yeah, he's not gonna fine. The problem is he wants to wait for a few minions to fall before they really go for this. But if he can get the gank off here, it's great. I mean, the Diana just reads it well. So they kill, and I don't think he actually could get out here, so... No, the Diana that's just goodbye, the Diana. Don't worry, the Viego will pop off. The whole point of this video is that full clear still has credibility. But I think in most of your elos, the Diana's not going to do what she did. You know, unless you're Master Plus, she's not going to do this, which then corrects the early aggression by the Viego and gets to this huge lead. Also now, she's in a bit of a tricky situation. Akali goes in here, flashes burned, Ignite goes off, Q misses. Doesn't really matter. Sets in the river, so Akali is doomed, I feel. And that should be an interesting dragon choice, but there's no reason to do that. Viego now is going to have a different idea behind it. Wolves, Blue Grump, that'll catch him up nicely, alright? We're not concerned if we're Viego. Because the fact of the matter is, she's up 400 gold, right? But she's in base at the moment, so that'll offset a little bit in both directions. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I'm thinking out loud, I haven't seen the game beyond the first phase, just purely because I wanted the clear theory to be, this is a great word, the clear theory to be discussed. But it showed you in that first wave, even in Challenger, how it can basically cause issues. The difference is, Challenge players know to come back. Most others don't. So here, I think if we're going to go upside to top, boom, 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 it's fine, but because it's warded, there's no point now. You can't really go for this because Diana most likely is going to be taking these also. Those are tier 3 Grump and Wolves. There's no shame here in farming a little bit. And also the bottom lane is greatly ahead because of your action. So even if a farming jungler decides, hey, here's a counterplay to get more experience because I full cleared, you know, haha. Great. But Diana's bottom lane is so far behind, and the Viego's not going to be pathing down, so he should be able to counter gank mid lane like he's going to here, or counter gank, just gank mid lane, or he can go bottom lane and further that lead. So, ult for the slow, and then just Akali things, become the Silas. This is fine. Herald is obviously yoinked away. This is expected. Because she does that, You can take the blue buff, see your mid lane. Careful for bottom lane rotations here. Always careful for bottom lane rotations here. This is where the greed comes through. Your bottom lane is ahead. You do a flash though. You do a flash. You can just, I just flash this out, yeah. You know, the blue buff invade is good, and again, this is challenger specific, high elo specific. If you're Master Plus, these things will happen. Please pay attention to it in your silver gold games. If you make these plays, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. You're not gonna have an issue. Right, that's fine. We fall back to our Krugs. There's a big fight developing. We're level 8 now. She's level 8. We caught up. We can use the Shadow Owl's passive of hiddenness, seemingly that everyone is gonna get from now on. Well, they're caught out here, no? Diana's not even in the fight. She's up topside. Boom. Well played. That was a bad dragon. If they started the dragon, that was bad. Not sure 100% if they did, but... No. But you see how you can easily eke your way back into it. He got his bot lane ahead. He was almost equal on gold to her. He was just down in XP a little bit. Purely because of great counter jungling. Now he's back in it. Now he has objective control. Yes, in Korea, they always value that first herald more, but... Shrug, you know? Shrug. Viego's a champion that wants to snowball and just get leads. And even if you don't, if you get to that point, eventually you're fine. So he goes for the Kraken Slayer first. Diana, once again, trying to counter jungle. And this is what you have to fix. You know, you have to do your Thanos correction of the map here. We don't want this to continue happening. We want these camps because they're our highest experience, tier 4 Grump and Wolves. Our team will rotate to help us. And honestly, I've done enough coaching recently. Platinum, low diamond, gold, silver. I'm seeing a lot of rotations from everyone. Way more than people think. Like, oh, my team never rotates. Yeah, they're less likely to. But I'm seeing a lot of good plays being made overall. It's definitely more popular now to rotate and help your team than it ever was. I'll put that out there, you know? Okay, we're chasing here. This is fine. This is important too, because a lot of people will now go into their Raptors. Just shadow. Be there with your Jin, your Yin. Get them ahead. And now you can translate that to bottom lane. This is what flow is. We want to swap the map, protect our house. We do so, there's a fight. We rotate. We shadow. Sets bottom lane. Okay, we can float down. Now you can always resequence up and go mid lane again. He didn't do the Krugs because he probably was anticipating some kind of fight there, so... We can do the Raptors. Now we can do the Krugs. There's no objective on the map now. Mordekaiser is in base. Karma was holding mid lane. Akali was in base. Jin's gonna push and reset, I would anticipate, or maybe not. No, he doesn't need to reset. Yeah, we can lane gank. That's good. I like that. Plant is hit over here. There's a fight going on 2v1. Okay, that's warded, so now we base. 2 versus 2 bottom lane with a question mark in gold. We go back to base. Right. Recurve bow. We want to get that Blade of the Rune King. Dinah once again showing top side here. I mean, the champion's very strong, and she did a very good job getting back into it. And that's why it's important to discuss the downsides of those early action clears if you don't have total map control. Unfortunately for Diana, Viego knows what he's doing. So we eat this away. We just use our stun to grant us some passage. Careful not to die. Make sure we get those camps. Experience leeching. The continuation of wards is huge. You have to give up that Grump. Please, please, please. Ladies and gentlemen, give up the Grump here. Too many times. But it's my Grump. I need my Grump. But they've warded and they keep trying to take it away. And you know what? Let's just go down. We're going to have a red buff up. Our bottom lane is reset. Akali's there. Ping this out. This is great. Ping this out. Okay. And again, look, you know, you're down 3-4 camps and you're only down 300 gold. So the action pays off. Right. Karma Perma rotating. Senna is out of position and way behind this game. That is a dead Senna. That is a dead Senna. This is what we want, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we want. I think we can afford to steal this blue. Just pay attention for any sudden rotations. But Renekton shows top lane, so there's no concern. We're basically setting up for the dragon here. It would be nice to get 11 before you have to ult there, but don't not ult, right? Don't let Senna get away and hold your ult. Use it to kill. I'd anticipate some kind of reset here from Diana on the bottom side. But she might also not want to purely because they have total dominion, so there's really nothing for her to do. But he's basically anticipating that she might do something with a Renekton TP flank. You see? He's anticipating this. Set goes in. There's the TP, there's the center ult. Oh, Flash W was nice. But he basically gets that. He becomes set. Jin creates spacing for himself to ult proc. You have a TP coming in from the Mordekaiser, so they can zone the Renekton. Very nice. We have our Mordekaiser in the back line fighting, dying to the Diana. We have a flash stun by our Renekton Viego. The 2-in-1 for special. He also auto-anticipates some kind of E, but didn't matter. Managed to get wall hopping left and right. Hello, Diana. And this is it. This is it. If you're a skirmishing jungler, and you're not an AFK farming jungler like a fiddle, right? It's always better to play this way, because this is basically the worst case scenario for you. TB bot by the enemy level 3 after you make a good invade. Counter jungled your tier 2 and your tier 2 camps, everything else is tier 1. You're not able to reverse the counter jungling. She gets the herald, she dives to top lane. You know, if you're gonna make a 4 camp, 5 camp invade or something like this, this is almost like the worst outcome for you as a jungler. But if you path correctly and keep that pressure up like the Viego has, like a Warwick should, like a Volibear should, you should be playing like this. You'll have no issue keeping that lead equal to the jungler, and as soon as your bottom lane or the lane that you got ahead is ready to go, and if you make the right read, you win, you take over. Gold lead is now pretty much equal. The door's in the red team's favor for a little bit. Pinging an MIA on the Herald here, I would anticipate death to the Mordekaiser. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, so now the Renekton must not... Oh, hello, Silas. See, everyone's on the top side, and they know that the Herald is the play. Ooh! Excuse me, sir. You've been caught trespassing in my jungle. And that's why I'm making this as well, because this champion is, The win rate, unfortunately in the jungle, is not very good. But the champion itself is very good. That's the problem with jungle champions, no? You know, we get Kindred. We have to play like a mini game that just doesn't help us actually jungle. Karma dies to Renekton for some reason. We get Ivern, again, super niche. Completely different to what you want. Like, you can't play like this. Ivern's just for brains, you know? It's just for brains in a tube. You don't actually... I mean, controlling Daisy, I don't know. I find that kind of finicky, but... Point is, it's not really like a quintessential best tier design jungler. Then you've got things like Kayn, which doesn't even become a champion until, like, you know, 8 to 15 minutes, depending on your healer. I've seen some 15-minute transforms. It's not pretty. The junglers we get are just not... They just never match up to the Lee Sins, the Elises, and so on. And Viego is a great jungler. But it's funny that he just seems to be better in mid lane, especially as a counterpink in melee matchups and so on. But that's great. This is great. Twice now. Use your lead to cut this off. You know, don't give it up. And if your team doesn't rotate, obviously, like here, just leave. That's great. Nice lead now. 917, 131 CS, second only to Jin on his team. Dana has done a solid job. The Silas is, you know, a professional player, but is basically just inting. Karma has been giga roaming, and the Viego's forcing these rotations. It disrupts the map. And Jin's really far ahead, so. I do love Divine Sunder on center, though. By the way. I mean, it's an OP item overall at the moment, but I do enjoy it. So here... You will find yourself, whether you're full clearing jungler, whether you're ganking jungler, whatever jungler you are, you find yourself 19 minutes with this kind of lead. 917 out of 18 kills, okay? Absolutely huge. The Diana on the other side is 7 out of 11, so it's also not... She's also been the high presence. Which one affects lanes and which lanes are fed? Your top laner is basically out of the game. This is the byproduct of your pathing decisions. You have a huge lead. We have 2 dragons, we have a herald. Absolutely do not go forcing things that lose you the game, right? This is not one of those. This is a pick. If someone overcommits to their boundaries in the river, that's your domain. Kill them, it's fine. Wait for your team to be pushing up waves before you go too deep, though. This is fine. Like, you see this. He's just shadowing. He's just shadowing, taking his camps. If someone walks up, you kill them. He's just shadowing. That's all you're looking to do. Use your E to go probing. This is in the... Are you a perfect jungle video? The one that did very well on the main channel, like the decision-making test. The Viego does the same kind of thing. It's the Rengar style. It's the Evelyn style. It's the assassination style. Don't be detached from your team. Be present. Woo! Free flash. Absolute free flash to be burnt. And Jin does his job. Activate this now. Take that tower. Flank here. Good flank. Missed the W, but that's fine. They can't see the animation coming out of the E, so it's quite difficult to rotate too quickly. Silas takes Mordekaiser's ult, but I don't think he wanted to. He does die anyway, though. Diana goes in. Very nice ult here. But we have VIEGO. Okay, be patient, my children. Don't rush in and die too much. Let them burn spells, focus someone else, and then become someone else. Triple kill by Diana. Well played. Well played, but VIEGO played it even better. And this is why I like this game. That's why I like this game. Both junglers did a very good job. But which ones? Which jungler, rather, allowed the laners to dominate? VIEGO. They had Prior early, but he made it happen, you know? If he wasn't there from the TP at level 3, then maybe things change. You know, maybe it's a different outcome. And it's all because he did that 4-5 camp, got rid of the Diana, Silas comes in, and he's right here. It's perfect. Okay, Baron, El Baron. We simply take all of this stuff, finish the quadrant, reset, we got 3k in the pocket. There is a dragon spawning, you're gonna lose it as a byproduct. I think that's fine. There is a school of thought where you could just dive it down, but you know, if you die with like 3k in pocket and you have a 700 gold shutdown, these are not the things we want. So back to base, we have our Stirax, and now we can push mid lane. Sandra's going back to base, she has no flash. Ooh, did he try to Gale Force it, no? He tried to Gale Force it. Mordekaiser's just doing his job. I mean, Silas is hard griefy, and the Sandra just never had a shot in this game. And the Mordekaiser did have a rough time as well because of the Diana, but you know what? Doesn't matter. Bottom lane is the lane to camp. Baron, I don't think there's it. I mean, this is pretty straightforward to close now. I don't have any events, so I have no idea what actually happens. Ward placed. Just be careful not to dive too much. There we go. Get on out. Bottom wave is pushed back into us. Mordekaiser will catch that. Check the crab. Clear the wards. And because of this, that's what I'm saying. As soon as you leave your team, and this happens so much, they're going to engage. The Karma's out of position, right? It's the Karma's fault. I mean, no one can save her. No one can save her soul here. This is all on her. But it's more so the invitation. You know, you just don't want to invite them. Hey, VIEGO's looming. You know, maybe this is... And here they see him, so they know, okay, we can push. You know, this is the importance of scanning and control and wards and so on. Careful here. Don't want to get caught out in a rough position. Yeah, it's Silas. Silas doesn't want to be caught out in a rough position. He's dead. So, does anyone from Gen G want to issue a Twitter statement that there was no negative gaming? You know, is this negative gaming, or is it just a positive gaming experience? You know, Silas is very ooh, very nicely done. I mean, the Diana played well, but it's a difference between playing for yourself and playing for yourself and your team at the same time. Main thing is objective control. Yep, he's doomed. They trust. That'll do it. That'll be the game. So, to summarize, please, if you're gonna 4-5 camp invade, make sure you pay attention to Prio. In this situation, if you're gonna do this and there's no Prio, just take the crab while she's delayed here and try and double crab. That's perfect. Okay? Especially if they have Prio here. Your bottom lane should be safe from an early dive, unless it's an Elise, but she's not doing that. Take this, and now you can of course look to gank this, and then fall back to these, reset, and then do dragon. That's in the video as well. Just pay attention very much to the jungle matchup and the lane matchups, and be able to adapt, read and react to pathing, read and react to TPs, and you'll have no issue winning these games. And defeating 4 clearing junglers, who even if they play perfectly, will still find themselves at a tempo disadvantage, provided you make the right reads. And basically, the game is pretty much done, but we have one more fight, so I figured just for the sake of completion, you'd like to see the VIEGO finito this up very nicely. I'd like to describe to you what's happening in the team fights, but I'm gonna just call it a huge old stat check, and the only person winning that stat check is the VIEGO, so. Good night. And I'm gonna ult you, okay, good night. And good night to you. Please do share, like, comment, watch again, watch the main channel, whatnot. If you did enjoy and learn something, I will be back on Monday with another one. I will be back on Monday with another one of these. Head to the main channel for all your core theory educational videos. Yeah. And I will see you all in the next tutorial. One more. One more for the album. Any Wallace and Gromit enjoys. Nah, he just hits the Nexus. All business, baby. All business.